No, this video is not a typo. And yes, I know we are just days away from Apple's event, and the typical advice is don't buy an iPhone right now. And yes, that's true. Do not literally buy an iPhone if you're watching this video right this second. If it's before the event, that would be dumb. But if it is after the event, you might want to take another look at purchasing an iPhone 13 because we may be in for one of the smallest year-over-year upgrades yet between the 13 and the 14. And if Apple is keeping their tradition of keeping the older iPhones in the lineup, the iPhone 13 might actually be the right choice for you. So in this video, I want to tell you why you should resist the urge to buy a new iPhone 14 and instead pick yourself up what could be one of the best iPhone deals in 2022, an iPhone 13. All right, first of all, this is dependent on how Apple reconfigures their iPhone lineup. That's kind of like a disclosure, right? But based on past years' rejiggering of things, it should be pretty easy to predict. So first of all, the reason why you would buy an iPhone 13 over the iPhone 14 is price, right? Like if these were the same price, why would you buy an iPhone 13? That would just be kind of dumb. So if we follow last year's trajectory when the iPhone 13 came out and Apple bumped down the price of the iPhone 12, I think we could probably use that same logic for how much the iPhone 13 would start at, and that would actually be a pretty low price point of $599. Now this of course will be the mini version of the iPhone, which is going to be dropped from the 14 lineup entirely, and in its place should be an even bigger and more expensive version of the iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Plus. But this is one of my top reasons to get the iPhone 13 over the 14 this year. It's because of the 13 mini. It's going to be a unique form factor that you'll only be able to get on last year's phone, and Apple is not likely to reintroduce a small phone like this ever again. At $599, the iPhone 13 mini becomes a more attractive option in this lineup, and it's a lot better than the 12 mini for a few reasons. And a big reason for that is battery life on the 13 mini. It was drastically improved over the 12 mini last year, and basically has the same battery life as what you would expect to get out of a normal-sized iPhone 12. It also packs in some surprising upgrades for its small form factor, with the same camera sensor as last year's 12 Pro Max, and still features the same A15 chipset as the regular-sized iPhone 13. And if you like the idea of a smaller phone with good battery life, good performance, a good camera, well, then you're going to want to run to that order page as soon as they drop the price of the 13 mini. Seriously, I love my 13 mini. I think it's one of the best iPhones ever made, quite frankly. And if you wanted one last shot at this super compact iPhone before it goes away forever, well, after this event, it's probably the best time to buy one if Apple is dropping the price on it. Now, yes, the regular iPhone 13 price is gonna drop too. You don't have to get a mini, even though I love that phone. I'm sad to see it go, but we should also expect a $100 price drop on the regular 13 down to $699. Now, one of the reasons why you'd want to pick up the 13 over the 14, besides price, is the rumored lack of upgrades on the new models. And one of those lack of upgrades might actually be the chip on the 14 series. Yes, rumors are strong this year that the iPhone 14 will still technically use the same A15 chip as the one found in the iPhone 13, although this will actually be the version with the extra GPU core, so I guess technically it's the same one that was found in the iPhone 13 Pro, but you get the idea. Either way, it's still the same chip architecture, and for day-to-day tasks, it means the iPhone 14 probably won't have a speed advantage over the 13. It's also good news for the longevity of the iPhone 13, which should receive around the same number of iOS software updates as the iPhone 14, meaning that even though you're buying an older iPhone model, you'll still get the latest software features for years to come. And as we go down the list of rumored upgrades for the iPhone 14, it really starts to sound pretty incremental. First of all, we expect the 13 and 14 to look exactly the same. Sure, it may have different color options, but in terms of just design, they should look the same. The starting storage for the 13 and the 14 are also rumored to be the same at 128 gigabytes, and there's no rumors for like a major display upgrade this year, and even the camera upgrades for the regular model this year are still rumored to be pretty similar to what is offered on the regular 13. It's still supposed to be just a 12 megapixel sensor, with the bigger 48 megapixel sensor change just coming to the Pro models. And it stands to reason that battery life should also be pretty similar because of the phone keeping the same dimensions as the 13, and it is still using an A15 chip, so don't expect any magical battery life upgrades on the 14 either. And really, when you start to add it all up, looking at it from a standpoint of year-over-year upgrades, going from the iPhone 13 to the iPhone 14, this is a very small year. Same design, similar battery life, It looks like the same display quality, not exactly the same camera, but again, very similar camera specifications. And when you figure in the fact that it is still using the A15 chip, it is representing probably, I think, maybe one of the smallest year-over-year upgrades that we have ever seen iPhone to iPhone. The one tricky area, though, for this recommendation might actually be pricing, if the iPhone 14 pricing rumors turn out to be true, because some rumors are saying it will start at $749. And let's say the iPhone 13 drops at $100, then it will be $699, and that's only a $50 price difference. And if the pricing is that close, maybe the advice then is to just pick up a 14 for $50 more. But again, we have to see how these rumors actually play out before we can give recommendations based on that pricing. Like, we just don't know. Like, if it is $749, maybe the 13 drops all the way down to $649, and then that just becomes an even better value on top of that. So we'll have to wait for all that news to pan out before we know the exact pricing, but we are just a few days away, so keep this in mind when you're looking at which phones to buy. Now listen, I'm not saying there's no reason to buy an iPhone 14. Like, I am not poo-pooing the iPhone 14 saying don't get it. I'm not calling it a bad phone. It's not out yet. I'm not pre-reviewing this phone. And honestly, there can always be last-minute surprises. We do not know the full story with the 14 yet. There may be certain features we don't know about, or rumored features like the new satellite connectivity feature may carry more weight in your purchasing decision. You may also go for the 14 based on some of the rumored internal spec upgrades, like 50% more memory, or other quality of life improvements like Wi-Fi 6E. There could be a whole range of additions that may sound small at first, but when you start to add them up, they may be worth the additional $100 over the 13. You'll also have the bigger iPhone 14 Plus in this lineup, and that is something a lot of people are going to consider. A phone with a bigger 6.7-inch display and more battery life than the normal or mini-size 13 models. And even though I wish the mini phone was more popular, I know a lot of you watching this just want a bigger sized iPhone, not a smaller one. So with that being said, I feel like the regular iPhone 13 is going to be a strong contender and possibly a very good phone choice when these new phones are announced. So remember what I said in this video and think about what features you really need and how much you're willing to pay for your next iPhone, because it's pretty likely that buying last year's iPhone may turn out to be one of the smarter choices for this year. All right, everyone, I hope you found this video helpful and informative, and I hope no matter what iPhone you decide to buy, you are very happy with your purchasing decision. If you like this video, be sure to give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for future coverage and to see if I was right about, the iPhone 13 being a good recommendation, or maybe I was completely wrong. That's fun too. Like, you can come back to this video after the event, type in the comments, you were wrong, you were completely wrong. That's always fun to read. I'll see you in the next one.